Once upon a time, in a remote village nestled at the foot of a mountain in ancient Vietnam, there lived a young man named Thach Sanh. He was the son of a humble woodcutter and his wife. Their small hut, surrounded by emerald rice fields and whispering bamboo groves, was filled with joy and warmth despite their poverty. Thach Sanh, orphaned at a young age, was left to fend for himself, guided only by the memory of his parents' gentle words and the kindness they showed to all around them. From the time he was a boy, Thach Sanh possessed an unusual strength and unwavering spirit. He spent his days in the forest, chopping wood, gathering mushrooms, and caring for the animals whose paths he crossed. But more than his physical power, it was his heart that set him apart. He was generous with whatever he had, sharing his meager meals with passing strangers and offering shelter to lost travelers, even if it meant he went with less himself. One evening, after the sun dipped below the horizon and the cicadas began their nightly song, a radiant spirit appeared before Thach Sanh. With a voice as soft as the mountain wind, the spirit revealed itself to be the guardian of his family line. It bestowed upon him an ancient bow and a mighty axe, gifts from his ancestors, and taught him the secrets of martial arts and craft. These gifts, the spirit whispered, would serve him in times of need and help him fulfill his destiny. Not long after, as fate would have it, a wealthy merchant and his cunning servant, Lai Thong, passed through the village. In search of a brave soul to stand watch at a haunted temple nearby, Li Thong came upon Thach Sanh and, seeing his strength, hatched a plan to use him for his own gain. Li Thong deceived Thach Sanh, persuading him that as a matter of honor, he should take the merchant's place and guard the temple that night, where it was said a monstrous ogre had terrorized villagers for years. That night, Thach Sanh entered the temple without fear, clutching the axe given to him by the spirit. The darkness was alive with chilling gusts of wind and the echoes of ancient prayers. All at once, the ogre appeared, huge and terrifying, its eyes glowing like embers in the night. With courage born not just from strength, but kindness and resilience, Thach Sanh battled the creature. The struggle was fierce. The temple shook with the ferocity of their combat. But with a mighty swing of his enchanted axe, Thach Sanh defeated the ogre, bringing peace to the frightened villagers. But Li Thong, treacherous as ever, concocted another scheme. Seeing the ogre slain, he feared losing his own reputation and convinced Thach Sanh to remain in the forest, promising him provisions and gratitude, but in truth, wishing to claim the victory for himself. Alone once again, Thach Sanh returned to his humble life in the woods, unaware that new adventures awaited. Unknown to many, the ogre had guarded a deep, mysterious cave. News spread that the princess of the kingdom had vanished, taken by a giant serpent, rumored to dwell beneath the earth. Despair settled over the land, and the king, desperate to save his beloved daughter, called upon all his people to attempt her rescue. None could brave the dangers below. Guided by his sense of honor, Thach Sanh volunteered. With his bow strung and the axe at his side, Thach Sanh entered the darkness of the serpent's lair. The cave was silent, but for the distant roar of the beast and the sound of drip-drops from the unseen ceiling. As the serpent coiled and surged towards him, a monstrous form of scales and fury, Thach Sanh loosed an enchanted arrow, piercing the creature's heart. The battle left the cavern trembling, but he prevailed. Following the echo of cries, Thach Sanh discovered the princess imprisoned deep within the cave. Gently, he lifted her onto his shoulders and led her safely back into sunlight. When news reached the royal palace that the princess was saved, there was great rejoicing. Yet Lai Thong, desperate to preserve his false reputation, tried one last deception. He locked Thach Sanh in the depths of the cavern, claiming the feat as his own. But the magic of Thach Sanh's virtue was stronger than the darkness. Songbirds, who remembered the kindness Thach Sanh had always shown them, brought food and news to him as he waited for justice. Soon, the truth could not be hidden. The princess, brave and wise, saw through Lai Thong's lies and told her father the full tale of her rescue. Inspired by Thach Sanh's heroism and purity of heart, the king ordered Lai Thong's crimes be brought to light. Justice was served, and Lai Thong was punished for his treachery. Thach Sanh was brought before the king. Humble and gracious, he asked nothing for himself, desiring only that the land should be at peace. Yet the king, seeing the depth of his character, asked Thach Sanh to remain at the royal court, and soon, upon the princess's request, Thach Sanh became her husband. Under Thach Sanh's gentle and wise guidance, the kingdom flourished. His story spread far and wide, a tale of courage and kindness, where strength was always matched by generosity. He was loved by all, from the richest noble to the poorest farmer. To this day, the legend of Thach Sanh endures. It reminds us that true heroism is measured not by our power, but by the good we do and the compassion we show to others, no matter how dark the night or daunting the challenge. And so the story of Thach Sanh, the brave and noble soul from a humble village, lives on in every heart that believes in the triumph of goodness over deceit and in every act of kindness that echoes through time.